What's up, y'all? We need to talk about this new Pano Lock. Well, we don't need to, but we're going to. This silly looking thing keeps popping up in my Facebook feed, which, by the way, I don't use Facebook a whole lot, but apparently they're broadcasting it out as sponsored ads to everybody who has anything to do with locks. So, of course, per their algorithm, it's going to show up on my Facebook feed, of course, because it has to do with locks. And I was like, Pano Lock? I've never heard of a Pano Lock Multipoint Lock before. But we are going to take a look at this website, EnduraProducts.com. This exact thing is what's popping up in my feed, and it shows this quickset deadbolt with, yes, a multi-point lock on the door. And if we scroll down, we'll see this is a one-of-a-kind multi-point lock that works with most off-the-shelf lock hardware, supports a forgiving installation, and offers lasting performance, all at an affordable price point, including electronic deadbolts. It's kind of a weird last sentence, but yes, this is what looks like a multi-point lock that you can pull your door down, route out the whole edge, pull the frame down, route out the whole frame for the special strike plates that it uses, and just simply replace it with a multi-point. Now, if you will look, direct your attention here, and we're going to look at this a little bit closer, and also over here. You see how that's centered? Basically what you're doing is you're taking out the latches that come with your locks, and you're using these two little, very daintily attached, I might add, gizmos for their multi-point lock. And you know, it's got this whole list of works with everything, it'll work with everything. But if we scroll back up and look at this picture, it doesn't show the right-hand side light. The whole point of a multi-point lock is more security. That's why they've been used overseas for a long time. That's why they started making their way over to the U.S. about 35 years ago with like HOP and CES styles, pretty much one of the first ones that us in the U.S. saw. But now we're seeing a whole bunch of different brands, and I guess in the future we might run across one of these guys. Now, this is probably the worst idea that I could think of. Again, like I said, multi-point locks are supposed to be designed so that they're more secure, makes the door more secure, but this is conveniently cropped off, but there is a right-hand side light. This part right here is called the side light, and there's more than likely a right-hand version of that. There's no strength in that, and not to mention all the glass that's in the door. If somebody, there's no way to properly secure. We all here use longer screws. Well, if you look at this edge of the door right here where the hinge is, if we could see the rest of it, and it indeed has a side light over here, there's not enough room on any of these side lights to screw in long screws. They basically have your trim piece of wood, and then they have not even a 2x4, just another thin piece of wood. There's no security, absolutely no security in this against forced entry. Because A, if this was a secure side, B, the hinge side is not, and I have seen doors kicked in on the hinge side because the hinges still had short screws. So that automatically, for this exact door, just kind of defeats the whole purpose of the whole more security thing. But if we look a little bit closer at these, you know, it's got this works with everything. How it works shows all the different, like even like all the Schlage, even the B365, you just snap in this little adapter here, and if we scroll down, it shows everything that it can work with. Blah blah blah. Wow. All right, let's go down to this video here, and we just want to take a look at. Oh well, we gotta watch the ad.
Did you know that hearing...
No, we're going to skip the ad.
How to install Endura's deadbolt and handle set adapters with Pano Lock Plus multi-point locking system. The adapters for the deadbolt and handle set drives are inserted from the composite side of the lock set and not...
Okay, composite side. That means plastic. composite is plastic. Not the metal side, composite, the plastic side. All right, so it's got a thin layer of metal. But look at this connection right here. Look at the deadbolt, how this is attached. Right there. Look at look at that super thin little plastic connection. All right, let's just say we're replacing a quickset knob. As locksmiths, we all know that when a quickset knob eventually loosens a little bit and people go and grab it, you push down. We've all seen where the doorknob used to be on the door and then it slips down a little bit. In the case of using a quickset knob, or really any knob that gets loose and has a downward force on it, that connection right there is going to snap instantly. Now, Endura Products seems to be a website based for really more of either a door building company, like they're trying to market it to people who actually design and build doors. But the way they go about, the marketing of this, it's like, oh, anybody can put this in. You just need to pull the door down and route out the whole edge and slap this in and snap in the adapters.
The metal side. The composite side can face the exterior or interior depending upon door handling. The handle set and deadbolt back sets supplied with the hardware are not used with Pano Lock Plus. Square drive adapters.
So this will be for like a Defiant.
Insert the square drive adapter by aligning the tabs on the adapter.
Okay, that looks like it's
with
metal.
the tab channels in the handle set drive. Press firmly until you hear and feel the adapter.
That's definitely plastic though. Hey.
Square drive adapter.
Anyway, it goes through all of them, but even with the
should be facing
here we go.
On the intersection of the adapter's guide adapter, the C indicator on the intersection of the adapter should be facing you, and the open side should be on the right. Insert this into the latch by driving the aligning tabs on the adapter with the openings on the latch drive. Push the adapter through the latch drive without clicking into place. Insert the circular part of the adapter with the opening to the left. When the circular part of the adapter is in place, press until you feel and hear it click into place.
Okay, one thing I will note here, at least it is not a sharp side. At least they have a 90-degree bend in it with the flat side. Because, again, those of us who are locksmiths know that sharp metal, when you turn that half-moon shape for a quickset knob that goes in there, if it was not folded over like that, if it just had the metal, it eats in to that bar and causes it to hang up. So at least they made it a right angle right there so that it wouldn't be as hard on that metal. But that does not change the fact that this connection right here looks so terrible. And you're going to say, oh, well, the screw post goes through it, Jason. That's going to stabilize it. That's not going to stabilize it one little bit. Again, this product seems to be made for door builders. If we go look here, we can find the instructions, and we're going to go down to a frame and machining. Anytime the words machining is involved, that means that there's a lot of work that has to be done. So basically, you have to pull the door down, prop it up on sawhorses, route out the whole edge with the adapter and the bit. I don't know if that's included or not. And then pull the frame down and route it out and put the frame back up. And then you're going to have to repaint because you can always tell it's been pulled down. Now, the only problem, okay, I have a lot of problems with this, but one of the main problems that I have with this is the after. It's all good and fine for a company to sell stuff like this to door companies or door builders. But you know what? Once a contractor or the door company puts in the door, what happens 6 months later or a year later or a year and a half or 3 years later when it breaks? If this company says call who put it in and we can send them replacement parts, you can never, ever, ever find those people. Those people will not come back to do a repair. They're going to say, call a locksmith. Now, I've never heard of this company up until I started seeing these sponsored ads and thinking, oh no, what are you doing? What are you doing with the multi-point lock and all this? No, the problem is going to be 2, 3 years from now, when we get called out as locksmiths to fix this door that's messed up. The only fix that's going to be available for this in the field is taking it all out and putting in the standard bolts or new locks or whatever. And with that frame being, done like it is, how it needs to be, it's going to be messy. It's going to be a nightmare. Unless this Endura Products company decides in the future or decides that they're going to work well. That's the problem, is a lot of these companies, again, they're only interested in their customers, who are the contractors or the door builders or the door companies or whoever. They're not interested in a random locksmith who gets called out to fix this door. They're going to say, oh, well, just, call the people who put it in. Mostly. I mean, I could be wrong. They may be great and be like, hey, we'll send it right out. You never know. But as we've seen with specialty things like this over the years, that is one of the biggest problems. When it breaks, I'm going to say when it breaks, because this will break, being plastic, metal, hybrid, whatever you want to call it. When it breaks, that's going to be an issue with getting parts. And even if you still, just like with regular multi-points, you still have to wait, 5 to 7 days for it to come in. I mean, this is the whole premise of this makes no sense to me. Besides wanting to use your own locks. And if that's the case, that means you already have locks, and that means that you'd have to have somebody pull the door down and route out the whole edge to do this. None of this makes sense. Betterdoor.com, it may be a better door, but I can't say that it's a better lock solution. Why try to fix something that, why try to do that? Anyway, let me know what you think about Pano Lock Plus Multipoint Lock. Have you seen one yet in the field? I know these are probably brand spanking new, because it is the new generation of multipoint locks. But if they're starting to be sold, that means that one day we might see these. I just don't think this is a great idea, Endura. Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments, and just, I don't know.